Here in one of our local newspapers, we have an article about a Vatican exorcist, and the article name is "The Devil Makes Him Do It. Meet the Vatican's in-house exorcist." So basically, at the age of 86, Father Gabriel Amor still performs several exorcisms per day. He sees the devil everywhere, including in the music of Marilyn Manson. And he's convinced that Satan, as much as he feared Pope John Paul II, fears Pope Benedict XVI even more. So, how does one know that such people are merely existing within a pre-programmed design and that they don't actually see the reality, the existence of evil, you could say, within our world? Because this man is not able to look at the world and see what is really going on. He is not able to look at war, famine, abuse, everything that exists due to humans and how we allow abuse to exist so that we can all live comfortable lives. He does not see how the capitalist system functions, how millions of beings starve every single day so that everybody else can exist a comfortable life within the capitalist system. He does not see that 3.3 billion people were unemployed last year. He does not see that half of the planet exist either on the breadline or are starving. This man does not see the direct link and relationship lines between how the capitalist system functions on the one hand, and how that directly influences the lives of every single being on this planet, and how most beings are in a position of being abused and are in the position of being taken advantage of, not even to mention what happens and is currently happening on our planet and to nature. He does not see those relationship lines, which are very, very understandable if you go and look at it within common sense. You can go and draw relationship lines for yourself, basic equations between how the capitalist system functions and how that affects the lives of every single being on this planet. And that the basis of capitalism exists for a very few, an elite few, to make large amounts of money, and through that to exploit and abuse those who do not have a voice within the world, those who do not have a say, those who do not have power. And most capitalists will argue for the limitations of the capitalist system, where they will say, but it's human nature to want to fight and compete over resources. What else are we going to do if the resources run out, if we don't control everything? These are the justifications that exist behind why every single human on this planet allow the abuse in the name of human greed and in the name of basic capitalism, which is how we have accepted the world systems to function so that you and I can go and buy things that we need and live our comfortable lives in our houses and have our cars and have our lifestyles. So we accept the capitalist system as it currently exists, knowing the uncountable number of points of abuse within the system that is happening every single day, every second of every minute of every single day. We know this is happening. We know that we can draw basic relationship lines between these events, and yet we justify it. Every capitalist, every person that supports the capitalist system that comes and argues on my channel and on the channel of people that do similar videos to mine, who come and say, you don't know what you're talking about, capitalism is great, the abuse basically exists because, well, how else are we going to make sure that the rest of us get food and clothing and a roof over our heads? So basically saying, it's fine the way the system is. We'll just carry on the way we are. I don't want to hear about any other solutions. I don't want to hear about equal opportunity, equal money. I don't want to hear about a dignified life for all. I like the fact that I get to fight for my survival and that I get to see that other people on the planet are starving, being abused, being raped, being murdered in the name and due to capitalism and the fight for survival. I'm okay seeing that because then it makes me feel okay that I have to work every day in the system for my survival. This is the polarity game that we are all trapped in, and that we've become so addicted to because of complete self-brainwashing. Now, this Vatican exorcist does not see any of this, because what does he see? He's been pre-programmed to not see reality as it functions, to not see what is really being done to the beings that live on this planet, the true evil, if you want to call it that. And remember, by evil, I'm not referring to some dark force that is controlling. I'm using a term here meaning disgusting, horrible events that are taking place, things that are actually inexcusable, that is crimes against humanity, crimes against the planet, against the animal kingdom, things that are abusive in nature, harmful, and that are not seen for what they are. That is true evil. I mean, isn't that what evil actually is? It's that which is hidden but is completely harmful and hurts and abuses and maims. So he is pre-programmed, for example, to see the devil in music of Marilyn Manson. He has been pre-programmed to see symbolic images of evil in places where they don't really exist. And this is keeping him busy within his pre-programmed design, which then keeps humanity trapped within the same belief system. Oh, but look, if you look at this exorcist and you see him doing all these exorcism, and you see him saying, you see, I drive demons from people who are possessed, apparently, and therefore God exists, and therefore the devil exists in music like Marilyn Manson, and in people who don't believe in God, and in people that don't go to church, and he will have his set of rules according to what he says. You know, that's how and why the devil exists in people. And this in itself is then used by humanity as a cross-referencing point for us to look at and go, well, you see, he sees all these demons, and look, he drives demons from people, and look, I don't have a way to describe why all these bad things happen in the world and happen to me and my family and everybody around me and everybody on the news that's being abused and maimed. So let's describe it away as being the demons. The demons did it. And then you have this man that has his pre-programmed design, and he is now apparently seeing all these things, but he is not really seeing anything. He is just how I can conjure up pictures and images in my mind. He is doing the exact same thing, and he has been pre-programmed within his personality design as who he is, as who he's been designed to be for this lifetime. He believes his own design. So then the next point is possession. He still believes that demons are possessing people, instead of clearly, directly seeing that the human mind is first of all what exists within the human. You don't have to have any special degree in anything to understand and to observe human beings. Firstly, observe that the human exists as a mind consciousness system. We exist as our fears, our beliefs, judgment, ideas, wants, desires, hatred, anger, emotions, feelings. Everything that exists in and as every single human being's mind. So unless you are willing to say that every single human on this planet is possessed, which from my perspective everybody is because of the mind, and how we go into the mind and become our emotions and feelings and our desires and our fears, therefore we become possessed by our minds. Every single human is that to some extent or another, but basically, you know, he is trying to explain away the human mind to being demons. But in what he's basically saying, he's saying then that every single human is already possessed by a devil, by a demon. And he's not willing to admit that. But what he doesn't understand is that these possession cases that he is dealing with is the human mind. It is the human mind of every single human that functions according to a pre-programmed design, and every single person is pre-programmed to either be more emotional this way, or to have excessive anger, or to be excessively jealous, or to, be excessively overexcitable, or want to dominate others, ego-driven. Every single person, if you look at it for yourself, your personality is different to the next person's personality. That's called pre-programming. So he's basically looking at what happens when each person does not take self-responsibility for the mind as your pre-programming, as who you have been designed to be. And if a person does not take directive principle for your mind as yourself, and you allow your mind to go into states of possession where you become more of something within the mind, meaning you become your anger, or your irritation, or your sorrow, or your fear, or your ego, or whatever it is that you've been designed to be, and you allow that part of your mind which is most predominant to surface, and you feed it through thinking, through feeling, all your backchat thoughts that run in the background, and through all the energies that you access every day, and you feed that experience of the mind, that's when you have possession. And it's called mind possession. And he is misinterpreting these beings that come to him that have completely separated themselves from what they are busy doing within their minds. And he encourages people to then project that point and blame it onto a demon, some invisible being that they cannot cross-reference with anybody else that is able to see if it is a demon. Is it really a demon? Is it actually the mind? And he immediately helps people to completely disassociate themselves from what is really going on inside them, and to blame it on some demon that is out there that is to blame. So the fact that he can cross-reference his own information by looking at reality, looking on the news, and seeing millions and millions of cases every single day of abuse that is being done by the hands of man, that is being accepted and allowed by everybody that participates in the system, accepts the system as it is. So we are all a part of the evil that is being done currently in the world. But he does not use that as his cross-referencing system. He says, oh, no. The people that come to me that are in their possessive state, they're so because of demons. All the evil that is happening in the world is so because of demons. And then he tries to use very convincing techniques here, such as he's convinced that Satan, as much as he feared Pope John Paul II, fears Pope Benedict XVI even more. He's using melodramatic terminology to manipulate people through their fears and through their emotions. So now people will listen to that and go, wow, he's so cool. The church is so strong. I'm so impressed. I respect the church. And then what happens within the person is, not only do you listen to this made-up delusional story of this man that is basically just expressing his own pre-programmed design, not only are they now believing through your own belief system that this is real, but you also get a sense of relief. Oh, shame, don't worry. Satan is apparently afraid of this Benedict person, which is, if you are allowing that within your own mind, you are playing a role within something which is like you're watching a movie and now you're all of a sudden imagining you're in the movie as a character. I mean, that's delusional. If you separate yourself from reality and all of a sudden get sucked in by this false reality, this make-believe story, and all of a sudden you imagine that you really are this avatar character that's playing a role, that's exactly what happens if you read this newspaper article and you believe that apparently the Satan character fears this Pope Benedict person, as if that is real, and as if that makes a difference to what happens in our reality. So here is an example of someone that is designed to mislead human beings into not taking direct self-responsibility for our world, for the system that we create, for what exists inside us and what we create outside of us as the world system, as society, and what we allow every day in our world that is the true crime against humanity, crime against life, which you could call true evil, which is not being seen, and this man represents the complete creation of delusion within people, to not look at the reality and see what it is, but to instead separate, symbolize, and to worship elements outside of yourself like a cross and a Jesus and a God, so that we don't ever have to stop what's going on this planet, but we can instead create fantasy realities and points outside of ourselves to explain things away. So if you understand this and you would like to start working with the point of self-responsibility to face your inner demons, then join us on the forum on the Demonology website, and we will assist and support you there to get to your inner truth. And for example, look at for yourself, what is it that you fear? Do you fear a devil? What are your mind possession experiences that you would like to come and direct within yourself? Thank you very much.